Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Earth Angel Activities, where usually I do a lot of readings for you guys. And my goal is to help all the chosen ones, all the chosen beings, all the self-appointed Earth Angels out here who are on mission. It's your goal to understand yourself, understand divine energies and principles, and you are special. You are a very special type of people, because not everybody who is out here in this world is trying to commit to the practice of love and unity or care and concern for one another. So I have been guided to share some energy with you all today. And it is a healing, loving, and very releasing energy. So when I was meditating about the energy that came out in our recent full moon reading, that energy was really heavy. It was speaking about some very shadowy aspects of human desire and how some of the chosen ones could possibly be on this road to making a deal with the devil. And sadly and unfortunately, this deal, they might not even realize it. You might not even realize it. You might not even realize it. It's been this call to be impeccable with our words. For some of us, especially those of us who have warrior spirits, you have a warrior spirit if you're on the front line of defense. If protecting yourself means you're protecting a whole lineage of people, you are a frontline chosen being. You are a frontline earth angel. And being that this new moon, this full moon was in Aries, we have to understand that is the energy of war. Aries is fire, beginnings, leadership. Aries marks the beginning of a long journey, right? Because Aries marks the beginning of a zodiac year, right? So it's so much energy that is moving around that the chosen ones might not realize is moving, because it doesn't really look like movement per se. It's a very energetic, spiritual energy that's shifting. And if you're in tune with yourself and the environment around you, you feel it. Our brothers and sisters of the plant kingdom, they send us messages. They change the color of their leaves. The air gets cold. The ground gets quiet. The sound of night changes. Very different. A winter night sounds a lot different from a summer night or a spring night. So all these energies are taking place around us that we can tune into. These are not things that are supernatural. Okay, so we have natural, then we have unnatural, and then we have supernatural, where that is energy that is we have to reach outside of our nature to obtain. Okay. And the messages that we are praying for and looking for, a lot of them are not supernatural. A lot of them are not above our natural ability to hear, receive, and understand. Now, when we start talking to our angels and our spirit guides, now we are coming into energy that is supernatural. Okay, and in order to hear and receive those messages in the supernatural, we have to make sure that our vessel is in optimal position in order to receive those messages. For a lot of you who are on the front line, first of all, let me tell you, you're doing a darn good job. You're doing a darn good job for those of you who are on the front line, because if you're on the front line, you've made sacrifices. You've made so many sacrifices. It's been things, for some of y'all have been, all you want to do is help your brothers and sisters rise. You are the ones who you're not afraid to use your voice, or even if you are afraid to use your voice, you use it anyway. You do it trembling. You do it shaking. And that is so admirable, that you are that courageous, and that you are that faithful, and that you are that committed to being of service to the divine. You know, and that's why this energy cleansing that we're going to be doing today is for you. It's for you. It's for the earth angels who have been under attack. You know, people don't like that you're doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is spreading love into the community. What you're doing is shining a light on things that we won't be tolerating anymore. Okay? There is a lot of things that is shifting and changing. A lot of the things that enemies have been doing and getting away with, they thought they were getting away with it. It's payback time now. It's the hunter's full moon. And there is a lot of spiritual energies that are on the hunt right now. And I mean, when I say on the hunt, I mean on the hunt. Do you hear me? The devil is at war for your soul. We have energies out here who are so tangled up and so committed to they're attached. They're attached to the world. There is no separation of them from the world. They are creations of the world per se. And these energies are at war for you. They want your soul. They need your energy. And it's going to take a lot of diligence. It's going to take a lot of wisdom. It's going to take a lot of all the things that we've learned across the years. It's time to apply those things now. That's what wisdom is. It's the application of knowledge. You know, now we can't just know. It's not good enough to just know. As a matter of fact, if you know and you don't show that you know, if you don't act like you know, okay? If you know and you don't act like you know, the punishment is going to be greater for you. The karma of that, the gravity of knowing and not acting like you know is got so much energy attached to that. So let's go ahead and hop into this message. Okay, let's do our prayer, and I'm going to share the rest of the things that God has shown me about this energy for you, chosen one. Thank you, Most High God. Thank you so much for these messages, and thank you so much for allowing the ones, your children, the chosen beings who need this message at this time, who truly need this message. Thank you for allowing it to find them in the divine and right time. Thank you for allowing these messages to not only be heard, but to be received in a way that helps with the movement of and the edification of and the removal of stagnancy from their journey. Thank you for a movement forward in divine time, God. Thank you so much for peace and clarity. Thank you for allowing us to release the energies that came up in the last full moon reading. Thank you for allowing us to see ourselves and to hear our higher voices when we need to hear it. Thank you for allowing us to behave within our higher selves when we need to behave that way, God. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for guidance and protection during this time. So it is, Ashe. All right, so let's light this incense. And I've already cleansed and anointed the candle. So before we light the candle, I really want you to think about some of the shadow issues that have been presenting themselves to you at this time. I want you to think about some of the things that you want to call into your life as well at this time. I want you to think about the power of your words and the power of your energy and your works at this time. Okay? It's so much that we need to free ourselves up. And sometimes if we're able to just let go and allow flow, we'll receive the clarity that we're looking for. So, okay. Right? Get your mind together. Whatever thoughts come to your mind, let that be that. We'll go ahead and light it now. Okay. Thank you, God, for giving us messages through the flame, as well as I deliver the channel messages that you gave me earlier. Okay, so one of the first things that God had me to write down when I was channeling the energy of this hunter's moon was that don't overlook the word hunter, because this is an energy of, I'm seeing like men running through the woods with guns, and what they're hunting is you. These are demonic energies, demonic entities that are fighting for your soul. They need your soul. They need your energy. And it was something about that energy being like, I was hearing things like vampire and succubus and incubus, like I was hearing things like that. And I was seeing visions of like innocent things like children and pets and family and just innocent looking things. And that was showing me that sometimes we can be guided to play villains in other people's story. And sometimes people around us that we love and care about, they can be guided. And these are divinely guided things, guided to give you contrast that could possibly be distracting of what it is that you need to be focusing on. You know, these are energies where, as chosen beings, now you're starting to look in, what can I do? You know, and when we start talking about protecting ourselves and sending magical energy, look at the candle, y'all. This is a very important energy. When we start talking about sending back spells and doing return to senders, our angels don't want us involved in that, because you have to remember that what you give your attention to is what is going to grow. So if you're focusing on sending some energy back to someone that you don't like, you get in a continuous cycle of that. And the only way that it ends is when you stop. And it seems so unfair, because it's like it should have never been coming around to start with. But at the same time, you as a chosen being, you have to understand how to navigate the ships of emotions and energies. Because a lot of times when you receive an emotion, where you're focusing is the distraction. Anger is one of those energies. When you become angry, look at that flame. When you become angry, you have to recognize that anger is a warning sign, or it's an energy that is saying, look here, look at this, look now, pay attention, focus. But it's so hard to focus, because sometimes when things hurt, all you can focus on is the pain and how to stop the pain. And then once the pain stops, now you want to know why the pain and who caused it. And now you want to blame somebody for the pain. And your angels and your spirit team are standing there like, what? Like, we put on that whole show and they didn't even see it. They didn't get it. They didn't pay attention to it at all. They're still paying attention to everything else, all the other people, all the other things. They missed it. And we send them, and they're sitting there praying for another message or a sign, and we've been sending it. Your anger holds a very important key to your purpose. It's what angers you. It's what angers you that points directly at your life's purpose. Your anger points directly at your life's purpose, your soul. So it doesn't matter if you work at social services, if you work at a soup kitchen, if you work at a gourmet restaurant, if you work in housekeeping, if you're a CEO, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The essence of you is what they want to see. Your angels and your spirit team, they're putting you in these different posts in this world. Do you see the candle, y'all? You're being placed at different posts, different positions. We as chosen beings, different posts. Your post may be at home. If you're at home, your goal is to listen, is to learn, is to improve yourself so that when it's go time, you can stay ready. You ain't got to get ready. All right? There's no point in you being sad about being home or being alone or whatever it is, wherever you are, whatever job you're in. You can work at a convenience store. You can work at a hospital. You can work at a wherever. You can work out in the field on a lawn care truck. Whatever it is you do, you have to be the loving essence. The loving essence of a chosen being who is connected to the divine at all times. You know, and the sad thing about it is that you've got energies out here that know that that's what you're doing. They know that you're out here working for the divine. You are literally, you are about your earth angel activities. You are coming from the energy of love. Your goal is love. Your goal is that everybody is uplifted through certain things, right? But what ends up happening is you see people that they hate that. They are jealous of your light. They hate the fact that you're shining, that you're glowing. They don't realize that if they get close to you, look at this. If this unlit candle comes and gets close to this, what happens? Your light can shine too. Their light can shine too, chosen, but they don't see it. Did you hear the candle crackle? That's a big thing. They don't see it. They don't see that they can be just as easily lit without taking anything from you. Without taking anything from you, they too can shine. They just have this idea in their mind that they're not good enough or that they're not able to. Or maybe they have a wet wick, you know, and they need to come close to that fire energy so that it can regenerate a spark. You know, because when you come close to this renewal, this pioneering energy of Aries, you have to remember that Aries is the way Aries is, where it's kind of hard-headed sometimes. But it's like that because sometimes you just have to get into that mindset of putting your head down and doing the work. And I'm literally seeing someone pioneering a path, like whacking through a bush with a bushwhack or a machete, just pioneering this path. They're getting whipped by these branches. They're getting cuts and scratches, and they are trying to beat down the ground so that the people behind them, so that they can come. So that do you see this? This is what this energy is of. This is an energy of pioneering a path, and it's sometimes not the most fun thing. But as we pioneer this path, we create a pathway for our kids to come. We're their ancestors. We've got to make a change at some point. And I'm being guided to tell you that the way we do our magic as chosen beings, it has to be reevaluated. It has to be reevaluated. Chosen beings, some of these magical spells and stuff, first of all, it is this is no disrespect to anybody's religion or practice or anything. This is what God has shown me through what I've witnessed. These are things I've actually witnessed. This is not something I'm pulling out of thin air. If your magic means that there's a whiplash, which you hear a lot of people talking about, that whiplash. If you get that sting off of the end of that, you've been doing selfish magic. Look at the candle. You've been doing selfish magic. There is no sting that comes back like that from magic. You know, there isn't one. Not from the magic. But if you see that your spells are directly aligned with some type of tail that comes back to bite you at some point, you're doing magic that it just shouldn't be done. It simply shouldn't be done. Not as a chosen being. Not as a chosen being. No. Let that be for someone else. It's not for the chosen. Chosen beings have the ability to connect with elemental magic. That is not something that you have to go and be initiated into. That is not something that you have to go and learn in a book. Although it helps when you start to understand the power of your words, that's magic. The power of what you write down, that's magic. The power of the earth, the ground. How can the ground just be there chilling, but on its own, it grows. It grows grass, it grows mushrooms, trees, food, everything that we need, everything that we use in this world and in an industrial sense, all comes from the ground. The ground is magical. The ground itself has power in it. And we're being encouraged to overlook that. And it's ridiculous. Earth angels have the ability to speak in the air, to speak from their heart, and those things manifest. And it's because of that this energy right now, when earth angels speak, especially when we come together with a united voice, change happens. So this is the time now where the hunters become the spiritual hunters. They rise, they really increase their efforts of attacking the chosen beings at this time, because they know that the more of us that can come together and speak from the united energy of love, speak from the united voice of love itself, the less power they have over us. The more enlightened we become, the more we elevate, and that elevation, see, the elevation, you have to understand, it's figurative, but it's literal. Because the elevation of the vibration, it puts you on a new level to receive new information. That's bars. Elevation is an invitation for education or information. Yeah, I like it. They must like it too. The candles dancing. Okay, but seriously, no, it's like going to school. It's like kindergarten. This information is available in kindergarten. ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Now, once you've mastered kindergarten level, you might think you know everything. You might think you know everything there is to know until you go to first grade. Then you're like, oh, wow, okay. Well, we got more than ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Now we got words, we got sounds, we got this, we got that, we got that, And then it's like, oh, okay, well, I know everything I need to know until you go to second grade. You see what I'm saying? Until you go to second grade. Then you're like, oh, wow. And see, sadly, there are a lot of us who, when we are on our spiritual journeys, we get to a certain level and we think that we know everything that there is to know about spirituality, and can't nobody tell us nothing no more. But that is something known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay? That's something known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. I saw it on one of those space shows. I can't think of that man's name, but he spoke about the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people think once people learn something, it makes them feel like they know everything there is to know about a subject. And it really limits your ability to receive information if you think you know everything. And that idea really takes you out of flow with your angels and your spirit team, because they need you to be in flow. They need you to know that you don't know everything. They need you to know that sometimes you can be wrong as a chosen one, even with as good as your intuition is, they want you to know that sometimes it is not perfect. They also want you to know that it is not wrong if you have to cut people off, because some people have been put in your life to serve as a distraction and distract you so much, in fact, that you never complete your mission. You never complete your goal. So with the magic. Okay, let me come back to the magic. It's so important. I mean, it's so much written down about the magic. Okay, some chosen ones, they feel that if they send an attack to somebody, they are sending it back to someone. Your angels and your spirit team, they want you to know that if you did not see that person curse you, if you did not see that person put magic on you, and you do it, you have just created some karmic debt that it should have never existed to begin with. Okay? It should have never existed to begin with. You don't know who you're sending that. You don't know if you're sending the energy exactly to that attacker, because you have a person in mind. Usually, especially, this is for you. If you have a person in mind when you're sending this energy to, it's disruptive of the spiritual practice that of you as a chosen being. Do you see this flame? Okay. So your angels want you to remember that vengeance is, you know, the term vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine. Yes. Listen to what it's saying. Vengeance, it belongs to self. So whoever dealt it, that vengeance belongs to them. There's nothing you have to do. You don't have to intervene. You don't have to do anything. You have to trust and believe. Now, if you see an attack, you have every right to defend yourself. Okay, but the way that you defend yourself, it has to match the attack. So a lot of people, a lot of people do bad magic, heavy magic, okay? But they don't really practice magic, so to speak, okay? They don't see themselves as a magician, which all of us who have words, we have the ability, the natural. This is not even supernatural. This is just natural still. We all have the natural ability to manipulate situations, circumstances, and perspectives with our words. That's why it's important to be impeccable with our words and be discerning of the words of others, because what words people are saying are pointing at something that they desire. And human desire is a very big message surrounding this full moon. And that is how we can end up accidentally slipping into that space of making a deal with the devil. Because if you see the candle, because you see, if we get too caught up in the things that we desire, like, I just want this to happen, I just need this to be, I just don't want this person around me, I just don't like this, and it could be easy to utter something crazy like rebuking the words in advance, something crazy like, oh, I will do anything for X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? You see the candle? Like, your spirit team is like, be very careful with your words, because the team, the adversary, the demonic energies, they want you to say something like that, because it's like, got them. That was your signature on the bottom line of that BS contract that they want you to sign so that they can meddle in your life. It's like giving them the go. And as this candle burns, I'm hearing the angels tell me to let you know that the unknown contracts that you have made in the past with the devil, they are null and void. Those contracts do not have any more precedence. They don't have any more control. They don't have any more power over your life. If you allow those contracts to leave, the key is to not make new ones. Okay, that's the key. The key is to be very conscious of what you are saying. And as we communicate and interact with our brothers and sisters, and especially with ourselves and our inner child, we also have to remember to behave with compassion. Okay, to love ourselves and to love others in a way where we can forgive them. We don't have to hold anger towards someone. Even if you got to cut somebody off, you can cut them off without holding anger towards them. You know, you can cut them off and speak life about them and speak life into certain situations. You know, and I know that that's going to be very difficult. And I know that somebody is going to feel like, you know what, I'm not speaking any good thing about this or that. Well, do you? because that's second grade, and I respect that second grade level. But when you start getting up into these levels of philosophy and theory, where you're not just receiving information, but you are also contributing to information for those behind you to come, to learn and to know. You don't make those decisions with anger. Okay, anger is a self-reflective energy. Anger is the energy that points towards your life goals, your life purpose. How can you contribute to society? And what ways does your contribution to society help to soothe and cool that fire? And why does the fire burn? As you see, you can't soothe that fire until you've understood why it burns to begin with. And a lot of times when we understand why it burns to begin with, it has a lot to do with something that has hurt us in the past. Something that has caused trauma in the past. Our trauma is a gift of direction if you're able to see it in that way. And once you're able to see it in that way, then you can stop giving the oppressor power. Okay? So your angels also want to talk about the use of mirrors in spells. Okay? Mirrors, you have to understand what they are. Mirrors are grounding. They are very grounding tools. Okay? A mirror is made with a lot of elements there again that come from the earth. But it's been transformed and transformed, and then it's been combined with other things. So you've got the sand, right? You've got the sand, and then you've got the heat for the mirror, and then you've got all these elements that come together. I want to say like it's something like a nitrate or nitrogen and aluminum. Don't quote me on those, but either way, elements that come from the earth. Okay, it's a very elemental tool that chosen ones should be using. Chosen ones should be using mirrors for their spell work or for their magical work or for their spiritual work, because your magic is your spirit. Okay, all those things are coming from your spirit. So all the work that you're doing from that space, you should make sure that it edifies you and that it strengthens you. You're not going to the gym to fix the gym equipment or to clean up the gym. You go to the gym to strengthen yourself. Okay? So the mirror is a tool that a chosen one can use for their spiritual practice, whatever it is they're trying to bring about. But you have to remember, it's not just grounding. It's also a very watery energy, very flow, lots of flow, because you've got the reflection, right? So what happens with the energy that you do with that mirror? What is trapped in that mirror? What is reflected in that mirror? See, if you're doing a lot of hateful spell work with a mirror, I don't understand why you don't see that your reflection is the one that's going to be in that mirror. And that is sending that energy right back to you. The work has been done. That mirror, you've used it on you. And I'm also hearing that all the decisions that we make must be made with the energy of wisdom and compassion, because if they're not, then you'll end up doing something that you thought you did for the higher and greater good, but it really wasn't. You really ended up just cutting off your nose to spite your face. As a chosen being, you have to remember it's not just about you. So if a chosen being who is on the attack, you see that how long that flame has gotten, it's not just about you. It's not just about us as chosen beings. It's not. There are select chosen beings who they are the militia. I mean, and when you don't want to do something to or in front of one of those, look at that flame. Look at that. You do not want to do something you do not want to be out of line, out of pocket in front of one of those who are like in the militia. Okay, these spiritual beings, they are gentle. They are nurturing. They are loving. They're forgiving. They forgive and forgive and forgive, and they love, and then they guide. They direct. You know, this is a person that they'll tell you what they feel about a situation, and you might feel a way about them saying it to you, and they still go on loving you and ignore your little petty energy until you can come back and understand that what that person said to me was real. They do not live with malice in their heart. They are the militia, but they are not full of malice. Like our militia, their word is quite enough. And when our militia does combine the knowledge of plant medicine and plant energy with their prayer, you know, things change. Because when our militia send out an attack, they don't pray a crazy prayer like, oh God, kill this person, or make them do this, or make them get fired, or make them this, or I hope they hurt. Our militia does not pray like that. Our militia doesn't do spells like that. This is what it'll sound like. That's it. Tears. Because you know when God said I would catch every tear? By the time you have done something to our militia that causes that physical response of tears, those tears have pulled from every anchor of your body, your memory, your experiences, and those, it's there. It's there. What happens to your tears? They go off to the spiritual realm, like, right? Don't they? When your tears dry, it leaves behind salt, the memories. It leaves behind a very tangible energy. Let me tell you, by that time, the angels have lined up. They have reviewed the case 1,000 times. By the time your tears have completely dried on your face, on your hands, the case has been reviewed and there is action going into place. You just can't see it. Don't you know, like so many of our brothers and sisters, they're like, I've seen this, I've witnessed this. Every time people treat me this way, this is what happens, and I don't do anything. It's because you are the militia that works for the divine. Our militia doesn't sit around hoping or praying for the downfall. That's not us. The chosen beings, we call out. Do you know how many things I've had to just give to God? Like, God, this is what happened to me. This is what this person did. I cannot believe it, God. But I know that this is your child too. So this is divinely orchestrated, God. Is it or is it not? And I need you to take this because it's too heavy. And the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking about acting like a hood, you know what, ninja. And I don't need to be that, God. That is not in alignment with the things that you have put down here for me to do. I release this to you. Doesn't mean you invite those people back into your life or into your space. That's not what that means. But what it does mean is you don't allow that energy to curse your life anymore. You do not allow that energy to tell you who you are and what you need to do and how you need to behave anymore. No. You still win. You feel the freedom in your soul, just knowing, you know, and sometimes some things, if it was a physical offense, chosen one, sometimes you do have to take somebody to trial. Sometimes you do have to take somebody, report somebody, go ahead and file, what do they say? I need to file a report. Yeah, you need to file a report sometimes. Like, let's go ahead and get this paper trail started. Sometimes you do need to write down every interaction that you have with a passive aggressive boss and start keeping notes, dates and times and quotation marks. You know, sometimes that is what you need to do. Sometimes that is what you need to do. Okay, so we've already addressed the fact that, you know, our desires and our wants and our ambition could end up being the key that causes us to inadvertently make a deal with the devil. Okay, so being impeccable with our word is very important at this time. And also knowing that the devil is at war. There are demonic energies at war for our soul at this time. Do not make a deal with the devil. Focus on what it is that your goals are and the things that you truly wish to communicate. Okay, we're pioneering a path at this time. It's not always comfortable, but it is worth it. We're doing this for our children and their children. Okay, that's what we're really doing this for. That's what we're really making these changes for. Because we understand that it is bigger than us, that it is greater than us. We understand that we're more powerful than people perceive us to be. We're more powerful than we perceived ourselves to be. We are more powerful than needing to do a return to sender spell. You don't put attacks on the chosen ones. That's like attacking God. That's like attacking God itself. That's like attacking love itself. How dare them? How dare them? But our chosen ones, see, our chosen ones that are still there where that's what they need to do, we're not condemning them at all. We are sending them love so we can uplift them, because we got to get them up here to philosophy level. We got to get them up here to where when they are teachers, we know that our chosen ones are teachers. So we got to get them to the space of how they understand that their energy will move forward. But it's always going to be somebody that's going to try you, but you have to recognize how to fight in the spirit and in the physical, because that's what a lot of the chosen are missing. It's that simple ability to speak truth to power. Not everything needs a spell. Some things just needed you to open up your mouth and say the inkling that was in your throat. Those words that were pushing from your heart. Sometimes that's what you need to learn. You need to learn how to use your words. Your word is the spell. You know that. And you have to be very careful with what stores you go into. That was a big one that God was showing me. It was like the metaphysical stores. They're trying to get the chosen into these metaphysical stores, stealing your energy. They want you to touch certain things. They want you to be out of sorts. And hold on, let me get another incense. But they want you guys to be out of sorts. They want you to touch certain things. They want you to pick certain things up so that they can siphon your energy. They want to siphon your energy. And they are being successful at that too. They want you to spend money with them. And it's like something about that exchange is like, for some of you, you're doing business with energies who are not in alignment with your soul's purpose. Like some of these people that are in business, they don't even believe the things that they are selling. And some of them, they know for a fact that the things they're selling, they're not for what they're actually for. So they might tell you like, oh, this stone right here, these stones are for protection. But some of those some of those practitioners who own those stores, they've already hexed those stones so that when you take them home, they're siphoning your energy. Some of them they siphon your energy as soon as you come in the store. It's like they zap you as soon as you walk in, so you don't have to touch anything or buy anything. And it's important, like your spiritual team is saying, like when you do purchase things from these metaphysical stores, they want you to cleanse those things with gloves. They don't want you to touch it with your physical hand. They want you to cleanse it. If it's something that you can submerge in soap and water, they want you to submerge it in soap and water. If it's something that you can cleanse in salt, then they want you to cleanse it with salt. If it's something like selenite, they want you to allow it to sit in the sun for at least 3 days and nights. Some of the items they're asking for you to put in a Ziploc bag. I'm seeing specifically if someone just bought a ring or a piece of jewelry, like a bracelet from a metaphysical store, or if you didn't, even if you just got the beads and you made it at home, they want you to put those beads in herbs. And I'm seeing lavender specifically. They want you to submerge it in lavender and allow it to sit there in a Ziploc bag with lavender overnight. So just be careful about where you're buying your spiritual things, okay? Yeah, so the chosen ones, they're also saying that about learning how to speak truth to power is saying that you have to imbue this full moon is a time where you're actually being imbued with power and humility, grace, and confidence to speak the truth to power. The chosen must not be silent at all times. Okay. And then, alcohol. That's a big one. They were telling me about alcohol, and they were saying overuse of alcohol. If alcohol is a part of your spiritual practice, or wine, or some type of fermented drink, that before you drink it, you need to pray over it. Even if you're drinking it to get drunk, your spirit team and your angels are saying, like, do not forget about God, because there are demonic energies. And remember, these demonic energies, just like the heavenly energies have me and you, like the demonic energies have other people too. Bars. Oh, okay. Your girl is having bars today. Okay. But they want you to remember that. And they say, even if you're going to drink that liquor to get drunk, they want you to pray over your alcohol. Pray that you are not affected by any negative demonic spirits, and that your soul is healed. Okay, they want you to understand why you're drinking this liquor. They want you to understand why where your affinity for this alcohol is coming from. And they want me to tell you this too, because I went to a distillery a few years back. And it was at a time where I wasn't even drinking alcohol. I just did it as like a group thing. You know how people do. And that when we went to this distillery, they were showing us like the process of how they make spirits. And those spirits are really coming from the plant kingdom. And like I told you, chosen ones, the plant kingdom are our brothers and sisters. The plant kingdom are our brothers and sisters. The plant kingdom heals us and we heal them. So they are very close to us. We need them. And the plants are being distorted. Okay. They're being combined with the element of air. So, and it's just freaky. So they're being combined with the element of air, the element of water. So you've got all these elements that come together, even the heat from the distiller itself. But what I was shown was like the part of the distiller where it looks like a flute. It looks like a giant flute. And each time they start, when they first start the mixture, they mix it with some type of herb or whatever, grain or something like that, right? And they start their potion in this big cauldron. Okay. And once, this is witchcraft. Now we have to remember that spell work is all around us. We're all magical beings. We're just not really, we're not equating it to that verbiage. But so they start their mixture, their witch's brew in their big cauldron. And it starts the fermentation process. And then once they get it to a certain level, they take that liquid, which is somewhat like a tea now, right? And they put it into that distiller, and every time it goes up to another realm, it has to disappear. So it literally evaporates. It disappears. It goes to the spirit world, y'all. It turns into a gas. And when it comes back from the spirit world, y'all, it goes into the next portion of the flute and it's stronger. And so then they do it again and it comes back in the next part and it's stronger. Every time it goes to the spirit world, Every time it goes to the spirit world and comes back, it comes back with friends. And each one is called proof. So that's how you get your 10 proof, 20 proof, 30 proof, 40 proof, 50 proof, 60 proof. That's every time it's been to the spirit world and back. So be careful, y'all. Be careful with that alcohol. You know, pray over it. Pray over it. Speak. Use your word. You know, do not think that, oh, that's blasphemous. No, it's not. I'm going to tell you what it is. By you thinking that by you ignoring your spirit team, that your spirit team is ignoring you. You have to speak and use your word. If you feel uncomfortable with that, then maybe that's something that you don't need to do in your world. But I'm telling you, every time I have a glass of liquor or a glass of wine, I'll be like, God, thank you. Bless this, blah, blah, blah. I speak my little prayer over it, just like I would anything else I consume. Okay, and that's important for you. And the last thing they want to discuss with you guys is physical healing. Somebody has been having like these bad migraines, extreme headaches. That was the big, that was like the big one. Headaches. They were telling me like these debilitating headaches that make you have to like lay down. You might even have to go to the hospital for them. They're showing me someone who is like extremely tired, going up and down with health scares. Blood pressure might even be an issue, and you're still young. You're 40, 50, you're still, and you're feeling like it's the norm, but your angels want you to know that they want you to start making some type of change. And this is also for someone, they made me write down the word womb, and they said guidance to what will heal your womb. And they were telling me that specifically for some of you out there, you need guidance for your womb. You need, there goes the train too. Whenever that train goes off, those messages are amplified. So they were telling me that somebody needs assistance with their womb space, and that it's a lot of you guys, and that they don't want me to give any specific information about the womb because you need to work with a practitioner on your womb. Oh, and that brings me right back to about those metaphysical stores, guys. They told me to tell you guys to be very careful of the spiritual practitioners that you visit, and that includes the ones on YouTube. So they want you to be very mindful, okay? Mindful and compassionate. That does not mean that you go up on YouTube and you start hurting your brothers and sisters who are doing the best that they can. They are actually in their mission, so we have to be grateful of that, that they want to help, that they want to share, because for some of us, we got a lot of earth angels that they're not in mission because the world, everybody out here, it done pissed them off so bad. They're too busy looking at all the trolls that they can't even see their brothers and sisters who are in need of their knowledge. They rather be scared off by a couple of big mouth keyboard warriors. And, you know, and they're very much needed. Like the knowledge that they have, they are very much needed to share their information, but they won't do it because they feel like everybody on the internet is a troll, and they have to protect their soul. And I understand that too. You have to protect your soul as one of the chosen beings. Especially when you are on a platform or you offer services, you're a practitioner, you have to protect yourself. For a lot of the YouTube readers, I'm hearing specifically for the YouTube readers, they want you to cover your head with something, be it a weave, a wig, you covered, girl, you covered, a hat, a doily, something. They want you to cover your head. So for some of you, you've already been guided to put salt under your feet. You know, these things are important for you to do to protect yourself, because not everybody who watches you is watching because they want to learn from you. Some people are watching you because they're jealous of you and they just want to distract you from doing what you came here to do. And some of our brothers and sisters are up here and they are literally doing so much to not just take care of themselves, but to take care of others. If they're up here and their heart's desire is to take care of more than themselves, and you up there sending them bad energy, and they decide that it's time, they send that prayer off like, God, I'm so tired of this. Like, if that happens, you know, I've seen it too many times. I've seen it happen too many times where somebody keeps messing with a chosen being and they think they're getting away with it. And then all of a sudden their life gets so destructive that they don't have time to send nobody else no bad magic. You can't meddle in other people's lives like that and think that you're going to be blessed. No. And chosen ones, you can't assume that it was because somebody put bad magic on you. Chosen, you are protected. You're more protected than that. It's like I'm hearing your angels and your spirit team say, like, give me more credit than that. Like, I got you. Don't think that we would let an attack like that hit you. Now, some things are designed to happen. Some things, sometimes, chosen ones have to suffer too sometimes. That's just something that comes along with life. No matter what you do, life comes along with this fair bit of suffering for us all, you know. But just because you're suffering, it doesn't mean that you get a pass to do things that are outside of a chosen one's scope of practice. A chosen one's scope of practice is not to attack anybody. It's not to harm anybody. Now, if a fight is brought to your door, then chosen ones got what it takes to eliminate that threat. You know? But chosen ones have to be very particular about how we go about protecting ourselves. Okay? We have to be very careful with that. We have to be very mindful of the prayers that we pray. We have to be very inclusive of the highest and greatest good for us all. Like, so for instance, say you do send someone a return to sender, or you send someone some type of attack because you think that they need it. Well, when your heart is measured, did you do it because you were tired of them, like they were annoying you like a fly? You know how it is when a fly is buzzing around. It's like, you know what? You done buzzed past my ear for the last time. Because now you got to die. Like, is it that? What vibration were you in, honestly? And answer yourself in the quiet space of your truth. The truth within your heart that you can't hide from you. You know? Why did you do it? And why are you doing it? You know, a lot of these magic spells about love, that's not fair. You know, that is not fair, because you know at the end of the day, love is a free will thing. And if a person loves you, then they gonna love you. Okay? They're gonna love you, be it romantic or not. Okay? All right. So I hope that these messages have been of assistance to you, and we will talk again soon. Bye.